Hey there guys, a new lesson for you today, and this time it's about how we can use the minor pentatonic scale, the scale that most of us already know, and use that as a framework to build our knowledge with the rest remaining modes, at least the minor ones. For example, the Dorian mode, then the aeolian, which is actually the natural minor scale, and things like that. So how we can use something that we already know and build upon that knowledge. Okay, first let's say we will use the most popular pattern of the minor pentatonic. Let's say the first. Okay, that pattern I think you already know, but in case you don't, here is the fingering. It's 5/8 low string, 5/7, 5/7, 5/7, and the last remaining two strings 5/8, 5/8. Okay, we all know it. We all used this pattern at some point, but the real deal here is to make sure that first we really know the pattern. To do that, it's safe to use only a small real estate of that pattern. Let's say, for example, we don't want to use it from start, we just want to use the second octave. Okay, the second octave starts from the 7th fret of the D string. That's the A note there. Okay, so start playing the pattern. Okay, this is the second octave. You already know how to play it, but this from this point is starting the difference in what we are presenting here. So we may be able to play it, but we really don't know the pattern. Why? Because maybe, for example, we know that this is the root, but do we know that this is the 5th, or that this is the 4th, or that this is the flat 3rd, or that this note here is the flat 7. Okay, so in case you haven't noticed by my previous lessons, you don't see dots, you see and recite the intervals. So 1 flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 7, 1 flat 3rd. Okay, as you can see, that's what you have to do to really know a pattern, know the intervals in relation to the root. Okay, the flat 3rd, the flat 7th, okay, the 5th, the octave, and things like that. Okay, flat 3rd, all these things. Just a small real estate. Okay, as you can see, we only want to learn this really tiny piece of the guitar real estate, but we want to learn it by heart. That's why I choose only one octave. Take that octave and learn the intervals. Okay, and if you learn the intervals, you realize that you can do anything. Okay, for example, since you know that the A minor pentatonic is root, flat 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, and flat 7th, then you will understand that in order to start building your knowledge, the only thing you need to do next is to add 2 more notes. Okay, the rest of the modes, at least the rest of the minor modes, have 2 more notes different in relation to the minor pentatonic, so it's not that difficult. Okay, and what are those 2 notes? It's only the 2nd and the 6th degree. Okay, all the other degrees are there. Okay, the 1st, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 7th. The only thing that remains is to add the 2nd and the 6th. So, for example, after you had some time to really learn the intervals. Okay, and you know the moment you play them, flat third, flat 7, 5th, 4th, root, flat third, okay, you know them by heart, then you can see that in this small real estate it's very easy to be able to play, for example, also the aeolian, the natural minor scale. Why? Because you only have to add the second. Where is the second? If this is the root, the second is here or here, but we only want to focus on this real estate of the fretboard, this small piece, okay, of the guitar. So this is the second and we follow it. So root, second, major second, flat third, that we already know, perfect fourth, that we already know from the minor pentatonic, fifth, that we already know, and what is the second new note? The flat sixth, okay, and then flat 7, and then the root, okay. So only the second and the flat sixth are the different. So after you have learned your minor pentatonic, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, you add the second and the sixth. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, and the root. Okay, so for example, if you played the notes, and this is the pentatonic, okay, strictly pentatonic, you can play that. And for example, adding the second. If you really know the position of the notes, you don't have to be strictly pentatonic or strictly minor or strictly Dorian, for example. You just know the notes and you add them as you go. So for this small piece of the fretboard, it's very easy to learn everything. Okay, so if I want to play minor, I know that it's the minor pentatonic with these two, with this note here, and I know the intervals, major second, flat sixth. So it's very easy okay. For this small piece of the fretboard, you just know your minor pentatonic and your aeolian. But what about the Dorian? For example, if I want to know everything about this small piece of the fretboard, what is the difference between, for example, the minor, the aeolian and the Dorian? The Dorian, the only difference is from the minor scale is the 6th degree. The 6th degree is not a flat 6 but a major 6th. Okay, so if I play the major scale as I know it from this position, 1, 2, flat 3rd, 4th, 5, as you can see, but until now it's the same kind of intervals, but the last one is a major 6th, not here, but here. Okay, as you can see, you know the intervals, you know this small position by heart, and you can change from one to the next very rapidly. Why? Because you can see the intervals perfectly. Of course, you will say that you have to do the same thing all over the neck, and that is of course mandatory, but you have to start somewhere. And if you start going the whole neck, just play Dorian or just play whatever, you really won't be able to make it. So if you start doing that simple 4 fret distance, all these frets, let's say it's your first real estate that you need to memorize. I want Dorian, so 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, major 6. Okay, I land on the major sixth. Now that I played the flat sixth, I'm in the aeolian, okay? And if you want to continue, you can play only just the minor pentatonic, no one stops you. As you can see, I started playing the pentatonic and then I moved to the second degree. So that can be either a minor or a dorian. But now that I played the major sixth is certainly dorian, okay? And this kind of logic applies to everything, because since you already know the intervals, even for this small region of the fretboard, you can do anything. For example, okay, I just played an A minor chord. Why? Because since I know the root and I know the flat third and I know the flat fifth, this is my simple minor triad. Okay, I know also that this is the root, so without even thinking it, I was able to play the minor chord, or I can play the minor 7. Why? Because I already know the minor 7, for example, arpeggio. Because 1, flat third, fifth, flat 7. Okay, it's not really difficult if you think about it. Take a small region. I chose for you the one that most guitarists use the most, and try to milk it with every minorist thing you can think of. Okay, just for this small region you can play going from minor to dorian to aeolian, but the important thing here is to really know the intervals, okay? As you can see, I play minor. The last note was out of the minor pentatonic and it was the flat sixth. That means I moved to the aeolian territory, okay? Or the second. Now I play the major sixth, I sound more dorian. So we use the minor pentatonic as a framework and we build around it. As you can see, if you do that and if you really know the intervals by their names, for this small region, it's not before long that you can add the upper octave, or you can add the region which is next to the previous one, and before long you will have your whole fretboard mapped out. And this method, I think, that is far better than some other ones that you have to, for example, make calculations. Okay, if you want to play, for example, the D Dorian, you have to think that is the second degree of the C major scale, so you can play the C major starting from the second note and things like that. All those things are theoretically sound. Okay, you have to know them, but when you play, it's really critical, at least in my opinion, to see intervals. Okay, so okay. For example, now I played a sus4. Why? Maybe because I instantly know where to put my fingers. Why? Because I instantly know the root, instantly know the fifth, and I only know that the sus4th substitutes the third for the fourth. So 1, 4, 5. Okay, so as you can see, for at least this small real estate of the fretboard, sorry, for this small real estate of the fretboard, I know how to play at least everything minoris. Okay, the minor arpeggios, okay, the minor seventh, the A minor chords, doesn't matter. Everything, that's the point. So, if you go in this direction, using small regions of the fretboard, learn everything, using the knowledge of the already found knowledge of your minor pentatonic, you will find out that things will get easier, and not only you can play stuff, but you know what you are playing. For this region, now you basically know everything, but it takes some time, so it just doesn't happen in one sitting. Okay, first you have to learn the intervals of the minor pentatonic by name. Okay, flat 7, flat third, where is the root, where is the fourth, and things like that. And then after you already know it by heart, add the remaining intervals for the Dorian or the Phrygian or the natural minor or any other scale you want. Okay, if you categorize those things, you can see that not only you can find them easily, but you know at any given moment what note you are targeting. So take all this into consideration, use what you have learned here, take a very small segment of the fretboard, just like we did here, just one octave, and try to milk it as much as you can. Okay, play the minor pentatonic, then after you learn it, the natural minor, the Dorian, only on this small region of the fretboard, maybe the minor triads, the minor 7 triads. Okay, and be certain that you know everything about it. Okay, the rest of the fretboard can wait. Learn everything in a small region first and proceed with the rest. Okay, enough for today. Have fun with it and tell me, give me your feedback for this lesson. Okay, have fun.